Chair Bell have requested an excuse. You have a quorum present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk.
Pledge of allegiance of the flag of the United States of America.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk.
Invocation.
The invocation today will be delivered by someone who lives his life like both a man of the people and a man of the cloth, the Commissioner from the 8th District, Commissioner David Kniezek.
No comment. Let us pray. Lord, make us an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope, and where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Grant that we may not seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. As we gather here today, let us do so with open minds and open hearts, ready to fulfill our duties and do best by the residents in our communities. Lord, we ask for your guidance and wisdom as we work together to leave a positive impact on the lives of those we serve. As we begin the month of May, may we take time to honor all of the mothers and mother figures whose love and strength have shaped our lives and nurtured our hearts. May we also pause in humility and gratitude to pray for those men and women who served with bravery, courage, and honor, and who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms and defend our great nation. Lord, bless them and their families and grant them peace and comfort. May this month be one of deep reflection, remembrance, and a continued commitment to love, to peace, and to serve one another with compassion and understanding. In your name we pray, amen.
Great job, David. Madam Clerk.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Commissioner Baydoun.
Move for approval.
Is there support? There is approval, there is support to approve the reading, correcting, and approval of the journal. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Report from the Vice Chair.
Very briefly, at 7 o'clock this morning, the highly anticipated closure of the Groseal Parkway free to cross but not so free to maintain bridge happened. And in past years, when the bridge closure happened, there was frequently delays, confusion, and chaos. I can report that things could not have gone more smoothly this morning. So thank you so much to the Department of Public Services, Department of Public Safety, and anybody else had anything to do with making that smooth. This person appreciates that. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
We're moving to page 2 of the agenda. There is no unfinished business. We're under offering of all petitions, ordinances, and resolutions and presentations. There are none listed, so we'll move to reports from committees. Report A is from the Special Committee on Criminal Justice Complex.
Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Kinloch.
Mr. Chair, move to receive and file the report.
Been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing, you may vote at your desk. I vote yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
We're on Report B from the Committee on Public Services. There are 5 items listed on pages 2 and 3.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move all of the items for approval.
There support?
Support.
There is support. Any discussion? Members may vote. I vote yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
We're on page 4, Report C from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 5 items listed on pages 4 and 5.
Commissioner Kinlock?
Mr. Chair, I move to recommend, let's see. Madam, just a point of clarity, Madam Clerk, is there, what do we do as relates to the equalization report, assessment report? Is that at this time that I recognize Scott? Thank you. Mr. Chair, at this time, I would like to, as you know, that we have recessed this equalization meeting. And at this time, Mr. Chair, I'd like to recognize Scott.
Thank you. Mr. Vanderberg?
Good morning, all. Scott Vandenbergel, Director of Assessment and Equalization for Wayne County. It's my pleasure to assist the County Commission for another year in fulfilling its statutory obligation to equalize assessments. And with that notion, I have delivered in your hands the final county recommended equalized value, the equalization report for the County Commission's benefit. And the report equalizes in its recommendation all local assessments to be the same number for county equalization. In other words, everyone, all local units of government have a 1.0 equalization factor, which in essential terms means all the assessors have properly done their job and complied with the mandatory equalized values. The inflation rate multiplier was about 3.1% this year. And just sort of as a broad overview, a couple other things. The overall assessed values went up in terms of total county value versus total county value for 2024 versus 25, about 7.6%. And the taxable value, which is really the more important of the two numbers, went up about 5.5%. So we realize about 2% supra-inflationary growth over the inflation rate multiplier as a result of taxable value uncappings and new construction and new development. So it's been another healthy real estate year for our tax base, in particular for the residential class of property. And many communities saw double-digit increases, and even at the lower side of the continuum, 5-6% increases. And at the other side of the continuum, high teens up to 20-22% in some cases. So it's been a very healthy year for our tax base.
Thank you. Any questions or discussions? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Vandermergel. Commissioner Kinlock?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the entire report from Committee on Ways and Means, which also includes the assessment and equalization report as was presented.
Moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Anderson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, members may vote at their desk. I vote yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
We're on page 5, Report D from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Martha G. Scott?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move approval of items 1 and on item number 2 is let's receive and file.
Moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, members may vote. I vote yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Warrant Report E from the Chair of the Committee on Audit. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Daub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the report for receive and file.
Their support there is by Commissioner Colleen. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, members may vote. I vote yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
We're on page 6, Report F from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 3 items listed.
Thank you. Commissioner Daub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move the entire report for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Daub. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Colleen. Any discussion? I like the way this is going today. Hearing none, members may vote at their desk. I vote yes. Madam Clerk.
Motion carried. We're on page 7 from the Report on Government Operations. There are 8 items listed on pages 7 through 9.
Commissioner Clementi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move the whole report.
It's been moved by Commissioner Clementi, supported by Commissioner Daub. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, members may vote. I vote yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick. Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
We're moving to page 10, upcoming meetings.
Are there any changes, additions, postponements on the upcoming meeting schedule on page 10? Hearing and seeing none. Madam Clerk, next item.
We're moving to new business. We have 2 items listed. We have 1 on the addenda and 1 on a second addenda. Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of a 2-year comparable source professional services contract with NCCHC Resources.
Motion is in order. Moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Colleen.
Discussion today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My question is for Commission Counsel. There was a good 4 or 5 pages of your interrogatories on this. With the answers that came from administration on this, Counselor, is this ready for a vote today?
Through the chairs of this honorable body, as you saw from the analysis, we did point out a few points of concern. I'll say that, the indemnity, the lack of that provision or the mutual indemnification is unusual. So we did note that. And then the other issue was just a matter of having the consultant in the commission consulted about the selection of the vendor because the vendor has already been approved by the DOJ. So at this point, if you don't approve it, we could have other issues with regards to that DOJ settlement. So that bullet was just indicating and suggesting to the department that perhaps they could have consulted with the commission regarding their selection before DOJ approval. That way, if there were any questions, concerns, or anything, they could have been addressed before the DOJ approved it, before it got to this point with the body here. So it was just a point of, hopefully in the future with these type of items, they will consult the commission prior to in that process, consider the commission. So those are the only two items.
Chair, if I can, for the same two
Go right ahead.
questions to go with administration, what about the indemnification? That we're indemnifying each other?
Hi, Libby Busticker, Assistant Corporation Counsel. The contractor requested specifically that there be mutual indemnification. And our mutual indemnification clause that we included accounts for government immunity.
What does that mean? Mutual indemnification? You can do whatever you want, we can do whatever we want, and we're going to indemnify each other.
It assigns liability to the responsible party.
Why do we have it in here if it's such an unusual? Attorney, what purpose is this? To do it this way, since it is unusual?
Typically, our standard indemnification clause is a one-way indemnification clause, not a mutual indemnification clause. But in this case, the contractor made that request and we were able to agree to that.
I understand that, but I'm not getting a further understanding of this. What is the need of the contractor for us to indemnify them? Since it's something we don't usually do.
Yeah, we don't foresee the need.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
We don't foresee the need to indemnify. We don't foresee the need.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but when you have clauses are like, well, we're going to have that in there, but we don't foresee the need. But it could arise. Right? That's not out of the realm of possibility, is it? Contractor would want us to indemnify them. What would they be doing? We'd have to indemnify them.
Please do identify yourself, please.
Ellen Hodge, Chief Assistant Corporation Counsel for the Municipal Affairs. So in this particular instance, this is a consulting company that we've settled with the Justice Department. So they will be issuing reports to the Justice Department whether or not we have complied with the Justice Department. So basically, if anybody is going to be responsible, it's going to be for us not complying, which we would be responsible if we did not comply. And they are just there to report to the Justice Department as to whether we have complied with the consent order. So if they make a mistake, then they would be responsible for whatever wrong conclusion they've arrived in the consulting report. And if we had done something wrong, then yes, we would be fully responsible for not complying with the consent order. So that's why it is slightly a mutual indemnification.
If I may, Mr. Chair, I want to ask Commission Counsel again this. So they send a report to the Department of Justice, right, based on complying with whatever the action was that DOJ took with us. And if they make mistakes in that report, we're saying we're cool with that. You're indemnified, no problem.
So if they made a mistake saying, let's say they need to correct the mistake that they make. So for example, if they conclude that we did not comply with the consent order because we did not have the necessary number of personnel and they've wrongly counted it, then they would be responsible for that mistake. But if indeed we were not able to meet the criteria that was set in the consent agreement, then we would be responsible because we did not comply with the consent order. So it is a very unique situation because the consent order is being overseen. It's something that we've negotiated with the Justice Department that is being overseen by the court system, so that if they incorrectly issue the consulting report, then they should be responsible for their mistake. And if we did not comply with the consent order, then we would be held accountable for the mistake that we made in that we did not comply with the consent order.
Indemnify them and they send an erroneous report.
Right, but that
Then
type of
that's cool.
report, that would be up to dispute for us.
That would be up to,
Us to dispute it. So if the consultants receive or have the wrong facts, then we would be able to identify the mistakes that they have made, which probably will be unlikely because we are participating with the consultants.
I'm with you there. I'm just, funny things happen. right?
Yes, they
And-
do.
And my job sitting here in oversight is to say, what if funny things happen? Do we see the report before they send it to the Department of Justice?
I don't think so, but.
So
we can
how do we
dispute
know
the
if it's
report.
erroneous?
You can think about that answer for a second. I'm going to call on Commission Counsel right now who would like to interject.
Yeah, thank you.
So through the chair to this honorable body, the scope of services indicates that the consultant will be providing recommendation and advisory of making advice to the county with regards to improving services and things of that nature. So they will be making recommendations. I would imagine, and this is just an imagine hypothetical, that if they made a recommendation and the county took that recommendation and something occurred as a result, or could be linked back to that, perhaps they would be seeking some type of indemnification for the county for that. But I will state that the agreement does indicate that the indemnification is to the extent provided by law. So to the extent that Corp Counsel believes or the county believes that there is some law or provision that could assist assist the county in defending against and not providing that indemnification, I'm sure that they will fully pursue that avenue. And courts have indicated that government entities generally don't provide indemnification, so there is possibly an avenue to pursue. So I think they did try to cover to the extent they could, the county, and I guess at the same time trying to comply with the wishes of the contractor who's already been approved by the DOJ.
Okay. Still a little messy for my liking, but I do want to comment on that the contractor was already approved by the DOJ coming here. Basically, we don't have a choice. We'd be in violation of the consent agreement if we said no to this contractor. Is that correct?
Good morning, Sue Hamu, Deputy Corporation Counsel. That is correct, Commissioner. I will say that when this honorable body approved the agreement with the DOJ, I believe it was back in September, paragraph 51 of the agreement clearly delineated that the selection of the experts were subject to the DOJ, and at no time did this body raise that it wanted to be a participant with the selection of the experts who HHBS is really the primary department that's responsible for.
Well, I don't know every contact between Corporation Counsel and Commission Counsel. I see it when it comes here for approval. And it's pointed out to me in here that there was no discussion with Commission Counsel. I'll leave that for now, but I think I'm just raising that as that's probably something that shouldn't happen. That, that us as the commission take a look at hiring the firm, because once it's approved by DOJ, whether we like it or not, we're living with it. So I'll just raise that as a concern also, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you, counselors. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, members may vote. I vote yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
We're moving to the second addenda under item number 2 is requesting commission approval of a grant agreement with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Is there support? Moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Baydoun. Is there any questions or discussions on the second addenda item? Commissioner Kleen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just love immediate consideration items. So this means we're going to go into the process of developing our action plan. That's what this fund is going to do. We're going to have a new action plan. There you are. You're on. Now you are, yeah.
Hassan Sheikh, Director of Economic Development. DeLorean Holmes, Economic Vitality Division Director.
Betsy Palzola, Community Development Division Director.
So to answer your question, Commissioner Kleen, this is our administrative action plan starting process for the disaster recovery supplemental allocation from Congress for the flooding that happened in 2023 in August. So this is the start of that process. So this isn't our normal CDBG.
Action plan specifically for
The Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funds.
overall block grant.
No.
How does that play into it? What is the disaster?
It was a presidentially declared disaster, and then Congress was able to appropriate funds to do disaster recovery efforts.
Develop that plan.
Correct.
That plan's going to come back before us when you developed it in concert with all of our local communities, correct?
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Daub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, I haven't been able to read every word of this yet, but, I see that it says we have 6 years to spend this money. Is there a deadline in here that, we have to when we have to submit the plan on how we're going to spend the money?
Not for this portion of the administrative action plan, but for the actual action plan that Commissioner Killeen just referenced, when that comes back, yes.
When is the deadline?
The deadline to get it submitted to HUD is June 20th.
So when will that be approved by the commission?
We're currently right now in the finalization of a draft that we will be submitting to commission while we put it out for public comment, and hopefully be able to get it approved by commission with any changes necessary based on public comment feedback to meet the June 20th HUD deadline.
My concern is that that's coming up, and I don't want to see that come to commission the week before it's due, because if we don't like it, if we want to see changes, or if our communities don't really agree with that plan, and it's presented to us the day before it's due, then again, we have no choice but to vote on it. And it seems that tends to be a pattern with things being presented to the commission. So I ask that we get a reasonable amount of time to review that plan and give feedback. And also with our communities, that they have reasonable amount of time for input on the plan.
Yes, and that's why our plan will be to get the draft to commission in the next week or so. So for the Community Development Disaster Recovery, this is a grant that when they issued the allocation notice, only had a 90-day window to get through the entire process. So that's doing the unmet needs assessment, gathering data, doing public outreach, doing the public meetings, and moving it through this body to get approved. Due to some changes with the change of administration, they actually did extend a 60-day grant grace to all nominees. So this is one where from the beginning, it's just a very short, 90 days originally to giving us 150 to get through the entire process.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Colleen.
Yeah, thank you for letting me back in one more time. Not so much a question. When this goes out for public comment, will you be notifying all the commissioners that it's out there for public comment now?
Yes, we will.
Okay, I'll look forward to that. And then hopefully, when you report back to us on the plan, and this is what we want the plan to be, there'll be a summary of some sort of what the public comment was on it that you received. We'll get that along with the plan.
Yes, we can provide that as well. And that's why I was saying, when we bring it as the draft, we're going to incorporate it, any changes from public comment that need to be incorporated before final.
Okay, well, I
approval.
assume you're going to send it to our staff, right? Yeah, which I don't see but yeah, if we can notify us on when public comment opens, and then in your final proposal, have a summary in there of what kind of public comment you did get. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further, Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes, so this action this morning basically triggers a clock of sort.
The action this morning will allow us to send the action plan to HUD for their sign off. And then once they sign it, they'll give us the starting date for our clock.
Okay, so in that, can you, once you get that, authorization from HUD, can you submit to the commission a timeline? Because I'm sure that you may have been, a timeline of when each action that's necessary under the.
Yes, and that will be also like part of our action plan overall timeline as well from when that actual start date is.
Okay,
So yes, we can.
So you'll give us a copy of that time, and so we'll know, each action that's associated with this.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you. Do you already have a preliminary plan of action, or, because this is dated March 13th, so have you?
As I said earlier, we are right now in the process of drafting the plan. So unlike community development block grant or other grants, we actually have to get various data from FEMA, the Small Business Administration.
Right, and I'm
local
asking, have you
municipalities.
already started
Yes.
working on some of that?
Yes, we
That's
have.
what I asked, okay. And have you already reached out to any communities? I know you said you are, but have you already?
Yes, we've already had some conversations with some of the communities.
Okay. And they have provided input, or you haven't received any input yet?
We're still in the process of gathering all the input that they are still providing to us.
And does this include all 43 communities, or just?
No, it does not. Detroit received its own allocation.
But is it targeted to any particular communities that were hard hit?
Yes, the communities that were actually impacted and can show a tie back to the actual flooding in August of 23.
Thank you. Oh, and do you know those communities?
Right now, we have a general understanding as we've just gotten the bulk of the data from DPS and Homeland Security Emergency Management.
Okay, and do you know approximately how many communities?
Well, so approximately the hardest hit communities, probably about 10 to 11. So yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing and seeing none, members may vote. Vote yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
We're returning to the agenda, page 11, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 5 items listed.
There a motion to approve the testimonial resolutions?
Board.
Moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Baydoun to approve item B on page 11. Any discussion? Hearing none, members may vote. I vote yes.
Our apologies. Motion carries.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
War on memoriams, there are 3 names listed.
There are 3 names listed. Are there any other names in memoriam to be listed today? Hearing and seeing none, members may vote by rising in support. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Wilson. I'm sorry, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Palomero. I just want to say, I really appreciate all of the outpouring of love and kind words and kind thoughts that came from this body in terms of the passing of my sister, Pamela Wilson. Just the calls that I received and the support was really amazing. And it shows that we're definitely our family here. So thanks again. My family appreciates it. I appreciate it. The resolution signed by the commissioners was awesome. The pastor read it at the church the other day, and it was really, really heartfelt. So again, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are also sorry for your personal loss. All those in favor of approving item C in memoriam, rise, please. It is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Public comments.
Anyone from the public in the chambers wish to address the Wayne County Commission today? Please join us at the podium, identify yourself, and you have 2 minutes.
Good morning to this honorable body. I am Tanya Arthur. I am founder and president of Joshua's Dreams nonprofit. Our mission is to teach children and adults how to swim to avoid accidental drownings. I lost my grandson in an accidental drowning in 2012 up north where we went all the time. And I said, okay, Lord, you have to help me with this because it was so traumatic. I would like for us to even just take the fact that I'm standing before you here into consideration that drowning is a national epidemic. 1 in 4 children are lost every year. These stats even come from the CDC. I get nervous when I start talking about it because it makes me think of my grandson. And since I have just 2 minutes, I can have some stats and everything printed out and delivered, hand delivered. However, I also have standing next to me another mother who also shares my same pain.
Hello, thank you everyone for allowing me here. And I apologize for my attire. She invited me at the last minute. However, like she stated, I'm a mother as well that lost a child to a drowning last year, tragically. My son was on his way to being drafted into the NFL. He was away at college and he drowned, in an accident. He was living his life. He wasn't scared of swimming, but he was not trained. I wasn't trained. So I started my nonprofit, the Andre V. Selden Jr. Foundation, so that we can offer free swim lessons, swimming water lessons, and boys mentorship. So I think that it's something that is very important to be able to provide to inner city kids free swim lessons, because I wasn't privy to it, my son wasn't privy to it, and there are a lot of children that aren't. So we are today, looking for assistance with just getting that out there and your support with
I looked up the
Excuse me,
word.
ma'am. Could you identify yourself, please, for the
Oh,
record?
I'm sorry. My
Yes.
name is Danielle Smith, and I am the CEO and founder of a nonprofit, Andre V. Selden Jr. Foundation.
And that was your son?
Yes, that was my son.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
So sorry.
I know that there is resolutions and memoriams and stuff like that that's presented here, and we're asking for your support in regards to trying to make this a citywide, countywide movement. So we don't want to just be fundraising for the nonprofits that we founded. We actually want to make this into a national movement. If the county commission can help us, we're also going to be going to city council. Everywhere we can go, we're going to be spreading the message that drowning is a national epidemic. We need to do more to get free swim lessons, water safety issues out there, whether we partner with schools, rec centers. I even taught at the Y. So I'm really passionate about this. I don't teach anymore, but I'm still pushing the Y, and a lot of the schools that are around here, including Aqualife. Those coaches teach at Cass Tech. Their students compete at Wayne State. It's ironic that we're both partnering with the same school, Aqualife Swim School. So, and again, I also push the Y and the Detroit Rec Centers as well. So again, we just need to make sure summer's coming. Every time there's a drowning, it just makes me just stop and cry, because again, it's preventable. With water safety classes, drowning is preventable. And thank you for your time.
Thank you
And-
both for sharing your personal stories of tragedy and raising awareness of this very important issue.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right ahead.
Good morning to the chair as well as the commissioners here present. My name is Sally, Sallie Smith Brown, and I have the pleasure of being the CEO of Assured Family Services, or some of you may know as the Juvenile Assessment Center. I just want to rise at this particular point in time and say thank you. We were brought aboard 25 years ago when the system of care got started in terms of revolutionizing juvenile justice for the county of Wayne, that brought kids that were dispersed out throughout the state of Michigan, where we were funding and basically had children, our Wayne County youth that were placed all over the place within the county, as well as we had 200 kids that were placed throughout the United States, funding various residential programs. But we were able to revolutionize, as you all know, and bring these kids closer to home and provide services and develop community-based services right here in Wayne County with Wayne County providers that were able to provide those services. That we helped to create real robust prevention services, as well as those that are diversion services like the Right Track program, which is a partnership with Wayne County Prosecutor's Office that has seen great results, much success in young people completing those programs with low recidivism rates. Along with the fact that there has been definitely, as compared to pre-2000, very low recidivism rates for our young people who have been adjudicated. There are fewer that need to be adjudicated because there are other services out there that can address those needs to keep them from having to come through the pipeline in the system. We have appreciated our role in that and the partnerships we've been able to develop to support our partners in the system as well. And of course, we do regret and deeply saddened that our RFP did not make it through because of technical difficulties, but we are still awaiting in terms of the RFP that went out in January. And I know that today is May the 1st, and we're still waiting to hear with that one particular provider, what the status of that particular, the outcome of the review of the evaluation committee, at which time we'll then follow through with the procedures has been outlined. But I would like to say thank you very much for your continued support throughout these years, because it's made a huge difference to our staff, knowing that the commission in Wayne County, as well as the Wayne County Department, has supported us through these years. That makes it easy for them to work 7 days a week when they don't have to go above and beyond to ensure that children's voices are heard and that their needs are met, and that children have the opportunity to overcome mistakes and bad choices that they've made, to be able to live a successful life and become good providers, good partners, good citizens within Wayne County. Again, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Anyone else in the chamber for public comment? Is there anyone online or on Zoom? No hands online, no hands on Zoom,
And no emails.
no emails. Next item.
We are on reconsiderations.
Any reconsiderations today? Hearing and seeing none. Next item.
We're on page 12, remarks by members.
Any member remarks today? Commissioner Kinlock.
Make this very quick. As it relates to the two residents who made public comment, would one like to encourage or get the information to have a resolution in support of making citizens aware in Wayne County of the importance of water safety and as well as the second individual who spoke would like for the relevant department to just give us a report as it relates to the status associated with any appeal or any concerns that may come from what was stated this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To that point, I wanted to ask if we would consider maybe adding in that resolution to encourage any facility in the entire county that has a pool, has the ability to provide those lessons, swimming lessons, that they do that, and to just urge them to do that on behalf of the county and all the residents of the county.
I agree.
Any other? Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I too am in support of a resolution. Tanya Arthur worked for my office, and the organization is a great organization. And I think it's really important as we move into these summer months that we focus on swimming and safety and the importance of it. I know in high school, I was on the swim team at my high school, and that was one of the things that back then in the African American community, we didn't really focus on swimming for us and our children. So I think it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other remarks by members? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close with this brief remark. Want to wish the president of the Michigan Association of Counties, Commissioner Melissa Daub, a happy birthday from earlier this week. And I also want to apologize for not always getting the order of speakers right with who was trying to click in. And I want to thank the clerk staff for relieving most of the anxiety of chairing this meeting and doing it right in the justice it deserves. So thank you all very much. A motion is in order to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported.